everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your instructor Joy. Thank you very much for your continued support. I really appreciate. So now this video will be an answer to a subscriber. This violinist, a long-time subscriber, is wondering how one could control the right thumb. For example, when whether we're changing from Suzuki bow grip to the proper bow grip, or you started for a proper bow grip, you're playing it and the thumb coming through the opposite side like this. I'm sure many of you have experienced that one. We know that we need to rest the thumb with a curved thumb or being able to curve it. But when we play a lot, all of a sudden the thumb comes up through, and how do we control this one? Or is a specific exercise to fix that one? Very good question. So now let's start why that happens. Often, not always, but often when violinists learn from Suzuki bow grip, which is holding it, to simplify a bit, the bow grip, which has a good point, but sometimes for long term, it could make the proper bow grip even harder. But basically, Suzuki bow grip is this. Suzuki suggests the thumb under the frog and then the rest of the finger like that. That way it's a little easy to do. Now here, however, a lot of people get a wrong idea of actually holding it like this. So pushing the middle finger downwards, thumb upwards, and that's where the trouble is. So when you're holding this one like this, having counter pressure point going downwards and upward like this, when the thumb is too actively pressing up, even when you change the thumb placement properly here in between the hair at the frog, which is there's a frog ends here and the leather starts about here, that's where you're supposed to hold the rest, curve the thumb. And I made a video how to place a proper grip. So basically on the corner of here you're resting it, and then two middle fingers, middle finger, ring finger going down like this. You should be able to do that. But here, even if you place it, but if you're still holding the thumb actively upwards, then there's a very little thin stick, so it comes up because you're too actively grabbing the thumb upwards. I hope that makes sense. So now this is one of the majority issue when you have thumb that you have hard time controlling the correct placement or coming through like this, just thumb being a little too active. So this is what I suggest that you can try to fix it, and it worked well with my students. I hope that you can try it yourself. Place the bow in upper half bow, about 1/3 from the tip. Then now what you do, you will go back to your Suzuki bow grip, so namely placing the thumb under the frog, but not holding like this with a wider surface of thumb, but rather you're properly resting on the corner of the thumb like this. See, like that, and then the rest the way you do it. By doing that one, you're gradually teaching the right thumb where to properly rest. And when you do that, you see, and then you have much less control to push the upwards, because you're almost like there's one little dot resting on the corner of the thumb. So you don't have much power to push it upward with a thumb. Whereas when you're resting with a wider finger pad like this, you can push up quite a bit. That's not it. Like this, you just rest on the corner of the thumb very lightly, and just very light upwards. Almost no, just very light. And because mainly we're just keeping the bow from falling completely, you don't need much. You don't have to hold it upwards very hard like that. And see if you can lift up the pinky just to help the thumb resting properly like that. And the index finger, middle finger, and see if you can do just on the D string. You're just bringing a little awareness of the thumb, how it feels when it's resting properly. Then you move the thumb, the proper placement. Now it gets a little harder because now you have much smaller distance to press it. But here the key is not to press it, but to touch very lightly. Yeah, allow the bow to fall, and just very lightly. And then see if you can do the same thing. Now you can use your wrist a little more to help that one, but here the point is not to use your wrist or anywhere else, but try to hold the thumb very lightly, just resting on the corner in the upper half bow. I find it when you use 3 bows in each note, that helps a lot. Let's say a simple D major scale, placing an upper half bow, lifting up the pinky, resting the thumb in the proper place. If you want, you can start first like that and play 3 times on each string. Now. If you feel comfortable, now place the thumb in the proper place. Again, always resting on the corner of the thumb. Then continue the same thing. Now if you feel like the thumb is coming through, then it's time to give a little relaxation. Shake it again, and then try again. Next string. Like that. So you can apply this on any other studies, just to make sure you do 3 times on each bow. That way, once you start with a down bow, once with the up bow. Now, with any exercise with muscle, one needs more than just couple sessions of practicing. Just keep that in mind, to be patient, and also try not to do too much. If you have all the way of holding the bow that or a little over pressing it, then see, you can practice it, but see if you make maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes a day of your practicing, really working on the proper controlled thumb placement without pulling it through, or without grabbing too deeply, too strongly. Remember, the key is not to push your thumb upwards too hard, but rather just touch very lightly. Yeah? I hope you can try it yourself. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. I wish you all happy practicing. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.